Hi there guys, it's Pieter Jan here in the Eskort kitchen. So this week we are solving the dinner solutions, the dinner problems. We're bringing the solution to the problem. We are going to make a pulled pork ragu. Ragu is a beautiful stew that's supposed to be cooked for a long period of time. We're going to cut some corners and we are going to use this ragu in about 3 ways. But firstly, let's start with the ragu. We start the ragu with a mirepoix, which is a beautiful French term for onion and carrots and celery. It's the base of almost all of the sauces, stocks, soups, whatever. Very important, I always get the pot nice and hot before I start with this. It's a lot of vegetables going into one pot. You don't want it to lie on top of each other and make juices yet. So whatever we do, we start in a hot pot. Certain things we start cold. This we start in a nice hot pot. Hot pot, say it again, hot pot. We've got some olive oil over here. So just heat the olive oil up with the pot. It's having a nice little smoke. Smoke isn't always a bad thing, except for when you see your mother. After she saw your exam paper, then that's a problem. We add our onions in here. Beautiful, beautiful onions. The carrots are grated. This is grated quite coarsely. We want it like that. And then we've got our celery. Okay, beautiful fresh flavor in the celery. So this is how to use it in food. We go straight through all the way to the leaves. We use everything. So one thing to remember whenever you cook stews, sauces, meats, fat, oil helps to distribute the heat throughout your product. It's important to use the right kind of oil as well, healthy oil. This needs to fry for about 5 minutes. When you hear the leaves popping, you know it's at the right temperature. And then I add some salt into this. The salt will extract all of the fluids from your vegetables. And that is what we want because it's making a sauce. So this is called sweating. We're sweating our vegetables in this pot with some salt and olive oil. There we go. We're going to leave this. To the mirepoix we add some herbs. These are all, I always say it's the tough herbs. It's the rosemary, the sage, and then the thyme. So it's important to fry this from the beginning. You don't add it at the end because you need the flavors to burst open, if you want to use that word. And that happens with heat and from the start. Some people, like for instance, my grandmother cooked with salt and pepper and water that they got from a river. Okay? So whenever they taste herbs like this, they think there's something wrong with the meat. So chop it finely so someone doesn't bite into it, but that the flavor is distributed all the way through your stew. Herbs into the pot. Garlic, I like to leave it a little bit chunky. It's going to cook and fry enough for it to become nice and sweet. Okay, so you don't need to chop the garlic as finely. Okay, so to this, I'm adding our red wine. You can use any red wine you are willing to throw in here. And this is just going to help with the deepness of the stew. We've got whole tomatoes. You don't need to break them up. While you're stirring, they will break up. Okay. Then we've got some tin tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, saucy tomatoes, tomato puree. There we go. And then we just do some vegetable stock. Okay. And we leave this to simmer for about 20 minutes. And then we add our pulled pork. So Eskort does a beautiful pulled pork. You can see it has a beautiful amount of fat as well. Some meats need a little bit of fat. Fat is flavor. So to this, we are adding our pulled pork. You can just put all of this in here. There we go. Stir it through. And then we leave it to simmer for about 20 minutes. And then your ragu is done. So while this happens, you can quickly go and sort out the garden. Go and count the money that you won gambling last week, I don't know. But give it about 20 minutes. Then we season with salt and pepper only at the end because it will intensify and get more salty. Some pepper. There you go. You can put a lid on this just to allow the steam to happen. I don't use lids in my kitchen because I either break or lose them. So I just use some baking paper and I just fold it into the pot like this, and I leave it to steam. There you go. Lower the heat so it doesn't burn at the bottom. Tomatoes are very rich. There's a lot of sugar in it, so don't let it catch at the bottom. Stir every 5 minutes. And there you go. Ragu. We are back with the ragu. So this is the ragu. This is a big enough spoon for all of us. So this is our ragu. Beautiful. It's been 20 minutes. At the end, just season for some salt and pepper. Tomato always needs a little bit of salt. There you go. Some pepper, and then if you don't stop me, I'll have this just like this. Otherwise, we are going to do a couple of more recipes with the ragu. So we'll see you in the other videos. Thank you.
As the air is on Earth.
But I still say...
No, it's very hot. Listen, people. It's too hot. Oh, hello. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Goodbye.